There's an audio that is trending, a leaked audio, allegedly plotting for the removal of the current IGP from office, with parts of the audio indicating that if Doctor is elected, then there's a need to remove the IGP. Otherwise, it could not inure to the benefit of the party that this doctor belongs to. How true is this? And whose voices were recorded in that leaked tape as well? Very interesting audio, I must say. It's not been verified, like I mentioned earlier. But the Minister of Interior says what? Really, there's no plot like that. Nobody has been asked to come and make any statements of that sort. And there's no plan to remove the IGP. But beyond that, there are a lot of people who are saying that verify it first. Let's see if it's really true. Are these really party members and party cohorts who are plotting for the removal of the IGP?
I think it's quite interesting. If you look at the way it was recorded, you could see that there's some level of a deliberate attempt to do this recording. And so whoever leaked it knew that he was recording it for a certain purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it was meant to be leaked publicly. Now, I think that we've had conversations in the past about how the head of the executive, who is the president, has been given enormous powers by the president. And I've always sat here and said that I don't think that we need...
enormous powers by the Constitution.
By the Constitution, by the Constitution. And I've sat here and said that I don't think that we need a lot of amendment in the Constitution. Okay. If we have the head of executive, that is the president, who takes decisions arbitrarily or without a lot of discretion, no matter how you limit his powers, once he has powers that are inherent in the Constitution, that arbitrariness or a lack of discretion in taking decisions would always be abused. Yeah. And that leads to many of the things that we're talking about. So, for example, the president appoints a finance minister. He's the same person who subsequently then will appoint the IGP. So if the president decides to appoint an IGP and feels that I don't want to control the IGP, or I won't allow my assigns, those around me, to control the IGP, it will not happen. Yeah. You know, so it is, I think it's about how moderate we can have somebody who occupies that position of presidency and then won't allow certain things that would lead to abuse of his office, of his powers, or those around him who can also have those abuse.
You know, but the Constitution as it stands, just like you've mentioned, gives the power to the president to appoint the heads of all these institutions. And we know that in this country, according to the Constitution, the Electoral Commission, the police service, all the security agencies must
be appointed.
Yeah, the heads.
The heads
in consultation with the council.
Exactly. Yes. But you see, if you ask the layman on the street, the argument is that there's been a number of coups in this country. So it is very important and imperative that there's some good synergy between all these security agencies, especially their heads and the president. Not necessarily for the president to control them, but to have a certain synergy between the ruling government, the president, and all these security agencies. Now, my problem is not even the president appointing them, but my problem is you respecting the oath of office. Now, there are 3 oaths that all these appointed officials take. You take the oath of allegiance, and then there's another one, which is the official oath, which we have on the screen right now. This happens to be the one for the president, but the second phrase is applicable to all these security agencies, which says that I will be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana, that I will at all times preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the Republic of Ghana and to do right to all manner of persons. My issue here is, whether you are appointed by the president or not, you are in the security service. You have sworn an oath to do right by the people of Ghana. There mustn't be any time or any position where you are seen siding with a certain political party or try to undo the will of the people just because you are in the position to. Elsewhere, in advanced democracies, all these happens. judges or chief justices are appointed by the president, the chief of police. All these things are also done in advanced democracies. But once you swear the oath of office and you get into office, it doesn't matter whether the president appointed you or not. You are there to serve the people. So the question I'm asking, or all of us should be asking this morning, is all these audios flying around as to who said who, that has not been proven yet. What is happening to the people, to the very personnel who swear to come into office to do right by the people of Ghana? That's the question that we are asking this morning.
Well, anyway, we'll be speaking to lawyer Jantua, and we want his perspective on this matter. He joins us via phone. Good morning, lawyer.
Good morning, Bella.
How are you doing?
I'm very well.
I'm sure you've come across this leaked audio tape, that's circulating. What do you make of it, first of all?
Regarding the police situation.
Exactly.
Well, the president, he nominates the IGP with the police council. The police council is made up of the vice president, Minister of Interior, and some other people. I don't have the constitution with me now. But the removal of the IGP is not by the president. It's governed by relevant legislation and administrative procedure. And so, although he appoints, he doesn't remove. And that particular clause in the Constitution is not an entrenched clause. So, because it's not an entrenched clause, an IGP can be removed if he doesn't go according to what his position guides him to do. And I heard you talk about the service element. Look, the president is chosen by the people, isn't it?
Yes.
So he's there to serve. Whoever he puts in a position is also there to serve. Once you get in that position, you're there to serve the people. We have turned it upside down in this country, where it looks as if the party comes first before the country. And when that happens, everything is geared towards the party first and not the country. And the people are left ajar. I think our example is what is happening in Parliament.
Yeah.
You are there to serve the people. And it's by the people's responsibility and the people's orders that you can do certain things. But it's turned it upside down. I don't see how within the police setup somebody is trying to usurp and move an IGP. For me, in my books, it's a coup. It's nothing but a coup.
You describe this as a coup. So this is a treasonous act.
Say again?
So if you're saying that this is nothing but a coup or an attempt, to go ahead with a coup, do you describe this as a treasonous act? And what would you say should be done?
It is a treasonous act. It is a treasonous act. It is a treasonous act. Anybody who usurps the authority of government unlawfully, the treasonous act, so far as I'm concerned. The thing is, would we treat it as that? Would we take our chiefs and our fathers and our mothers to go and patrol? You see, we've turned everything upside down in this country. It's high time we reversed it. And it's going to take time to do that. Because the people have been structured in a certain way, in a certain form. And sometimes our culture also doesn't help us. Because this is untoward, really. This isn't something that should happen just because of somebody wants to win an election. No. No, it's wrong.
But that's the thing, exactly what you said. So it's the people who elect the president and not necessarily, the IGP, the Chief Justice, etc., etc. Now, with this tape coming out, and at the moment, it's a leaked audio that has not been verified necessarily, and so we have to tread cautiously. But at the same time, does it then suggest that appointments made by whichever president are meant to benefit them eventually, even after they've run, office for the number of years and need to elect another one? And should we be worried then about these appointments and how they are made?
I think your line isn't that clear. I can't hear you properly. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying that this audio tape has not necessarily been verified, and so we're treading cautiously. But at the same time, if you look at the statements that were made, the fact that, you know, if Doctor, you know, becomes the flag bearer, then we need to take out this IGP so that we can win the elections. Now, it begs the question, should we then be looking at how some of these political offices, well, not political, state offices, and their CEOs or heads are appointed? Because then it is done deliberately to benefit whoever is in power, not necessarily the people that you serve.
We need to find out what criteria is used to choose some of these people, the IGP and the people that the government puts in place. And that criteria the people should know. Some of these things are covered in how should I put it? They don't want to tell us, but we need to know. We are the people. We vote them into power. And if there's a criteria that they use to choose the IGP, and the reason why they choose a particular person, they've got to know. We are the people. The president is the president because of us. It's not because of himself. It's not because of his party. It's because of us. That is why he's there. And so he owes a duty of care and responsibility to the people. And he should be able to tell us. And people tell you that, oh, he doesn't have the right to, he can choose not to tell you why he's taking somebody. But he has to. The Constitution should be such that these things should be amended. And that is what some of us keep saying all the time. That the Constitution has to be amended. If the whole thing is not going to be amended, certain parts should be amended so that there is clarity, there's transparency, there's accountability. Simple. But if it benefits a particular political party in power, they don't want to do anything about it, as we see today. The president was standing on the top of the roofs when he was not in power talking about the Constitution. He's coming to power and doesn't want to do anything about it. It boggles my imagination, I'm sorry.
So, okay, so for you, one of the major amendments in the Constitution should be the fact that the president should not have the power to appoint the IGP.
I would love a situation where the president doesn't have the power to appoint the IGP, doesn't have the power to appoint the Chief Justice. Okay. Everything is done via their own processes and procedures, and then it goes to Parliament for ratification. Because in Parliament, you have the people there, the people's representatives there, and everything, so far as I'm concerned, should be situated in Parliament. Okay. Period.
All right. Well, thank you so much, lawyer, for speaking to us this morning. That is Lawyer Kwame Jantua. He's a private legal practitioner. Some very salient points there, I believe. Yeah, certainly. And a number of you also on our streams have been giving us a lot of your messages as well. Emmanuel Ampuma, for example, is saying that, well, we have too much politicization of the governance structure of our country, and it's happened since we began the Fourth Republic. So that is the problem that we have. And then also we have a couple of you also saying there's no smoke without fire. And a number of you also say that if it's true that the audio is what it is, it means that the IGP, Dr. Dampari, has to be made to continue in office until the 2024 general election. So a lot of varied views. I don't know whether we can open the phone lines and some people will share in it as well.
We just have a few minutes to go before Johnny's Barber. Maybe we can pick 1 or 2 calls before we go. I'm not sure about that, though. Well, while we wait, just also taking it back to what the first ever chair of the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Emil Francis Short, had said about the appointment of the Chief Justice and also the IGP. And he says that it's a very problematic issue. We have a caller on the line. Hello, John.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Yes, the problem is, you see, the Constitution was made at the time when Rawlings was in power. You see, I know the character of Rawlings. So the Constitution members, they were afraid of 1 or 2 things. So they gave so much power to the president. And we have come at a time when we have changed them. You see, it's just not like every appointment to be made by the president has to be the case. And if you change the Constitution, the appointment of this nature should not come from the president at all. So, you know, this Rawlings himself, dictator, we have president, we have another dictator. He's bulldozing his way through everything. And that shouldn't be the case. So such appointment should be done by a council, you know, this police officers or something of the sort.
Okay.
That's what I want to contribute.
All right. Thank you very much. And you can also call. I believe we have a bit of time to pick 1 or 2 more callers, so you can also share your thoughts on this. But you can also join us via social media. The hashtag is TV3 New Day. If you cannot call us, do share your thoughts on this matter. But I was just reading what Emil Francis Short had also said about this, and he's also against the appointment of the IGP and the Chief Justice. He says it's a very problematic issue because you find that the IGP and the police are not able to deal with political crimes. For example, when it comes to demonstrations or activities of political parties, it seems to many people that the police are not able to act in an objective manner. We have another caller, by the way, if you pick it.
Hello.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from? This is TV3 New Day.
My name is Kwesi Kwenesuma. I'm calling from Gumwan, Jersey.
Okay, Kwesi, we are listening to you.
Yeah. People are accusing that because Jerry Lawrence was in power, that is why such laws were made. Now, after President Lawrence left, we have had President Kufuor, who claimed to be a lawyer. We have had Professor Atamas, who was also a lawyer. We have John Mahama and Anado as well. So if it was because of Jerry Lawrence such laws were made, what about these people? No. The flamers, they all sat down and thought of Ghana. And it's the beginning of everything. We will not get it perfect. But as time goes on, we should have think through and see we will get such politicians who will manipulate things and change things. So they should not blame on Jerry Lawrence. It's all of us. We should change it now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution.
I think it follows through because Money says we need to change the appointment of these positions by the president. So.